way to kick your butt and still make you thank him for it afterwards. I don't know how he does that, but he's one of the newest members, and he wants to get engaged with all of us to help our residents. So, without further ado, here's my friend Chris Duran.
Thank you, Marcia. Very sweet of you. And yes, when I'm 43, I think you met me when I was 3 or 4, so we might be touching the 40-year mark, give or take. But more on that later on. Quick introduction to myself. My name is Chris Duran. I own a personal training facility in Redmond, Washington. Very, very lucky. Been here for 20 years now. I was a biochemistry, kinesiology major and minor years ago. So I like a little bit more of a scientific approach to working out versus just run faster, eat less, that type of stuff. And I went online 4 months ago like everybody else had to. I have always been the gym person, the hands-on person, the eyes and the sweat and the smell. So that's definitely who I am. So this really threw me for a loop, like many, many, many people. But like everybody here on this call, we all had a major life shift. And I actually saw people in April actually have a really good situation. They were in the routines, they did the stuff, and then May kind of hit, and then people started slowing down a little bit. And so when we first started talking about this, like Trisha was saying earlier, like we were all kind of thinking that July would be normal. So I was like, oh wow, we're going to talk about in-home workouts? Well, here we are, and it's still very big and still very prevalent. And I have a lot of my clients that are trying to get out of the rut from that mid-May to mid-June. And I think they call it caution fatigue. Everybody's tired, mentally, physically tired. So I'm here to say, hey, what can we do to either recreate a habit or create a habit, whether you had a big history of working out or not. So the first part of this will be definitely talking about working out at home. Like, what are the things you can do? Which working out at home is always looked at as this huge, big event. Then I'll transition to what are just a couple little things you can do throughout your day to get rid of those aches and pains. I feel like a lot of people have sat more the last several months, right? You went to your office and you sat more at home. I just, from what I heard from my clients, a lot of sitting. So first part of this will be very much geared towards working out and the essence of working out, and then we'll transition into more movements of just body. So again, quick gist, thank you guys for your time. Number one of the biggest things I hear people have a hard time with and working out is putting it on your calendar. And it sounds corny, right? We all used to get up, go to the gym, pack the bag, drive somewhere to the gym, and it was like this thing. Well, now you're at home, and now you have an extra hour in the morning that you didn't have because of your commute. But that hour went away to either more work or sleeping in bed a little bit longer. So put it in your calendar. Sounds easy. Well, everybody can interrupt you, right? I have a 7-year-old and I have a 4.5-year-old, and I run a business, and my business is all about other people. And of course, I'm educating my kids at home the last couple months, so it was always about everybody else. You got to put it in your calendar. And I want to talk about what 15 minutes can do for you. Is it the best thing in the world? No, I'm not going to lie. 15 minutes isn't the best, longest duration thing in the world. But start off with 15 minutes. That way it's going to be uninterrupted. You know you can do 15 minutes. And I never acknowledged 15 minutes as a workout, ever, until the last couple months. I used to work out for 60 to 90 minutes, and that was a workout. I would never do less. But let's start with 15-ish minutes. That way you know you're not interrupted. And if you want to do more, cool, but let's start with that. So number one thing is put it in the calendar. That's probably the biggest, most invasive part of people's day. Number two, this is what I want everybody to really focus on. I cannot emphasize creating space. And it doesn't have to be huge. You don't need to go clean out your garage, although awesome. I want you to create your own space. Right behind me is 7 feet wide, 7 feet long. Okay, a 7 foot by 7 foot space. Now, I'm at my gym. I have another 7 foot space at home, right next to the couch. But I need you to create space. Whether it's a temporary per day thing, right? You can slide your stuff under the couch. You can put it back in the corner so it's not invasive to your home. Or you're gonna have a temporary space for the next month or 2 or 3 until you can go back to your gym. And here's the hard part. And I'm not talking about just physical space. There's also the energy of space. So when you create your space, your family, your friends, whoever's gonna be in your house, they're gonna know where you're gonna be working out at. That way you're not gonna be interrupted. Kind of goes back to the calendar thing. So you create your space, you're going to provide certain energy. Again, your family's going to know where you're going to be at. Your dog is going to know where you're going to be at. Make sure your dog sits there while you do your workout. I'm not an energy guru, but when your mind feels confined, if you feel physically confined in space or you mentally feel confined in space, notice how I'm getting small, your body is going to resist going back to that space. So then it's going to be hard to replicate. So create a space. At my house, I can touch the ceiling if I raise my arms. So yeah, it feels small, but I've opened up the room to give me some space. So number one, let's put it in our calendar. Let's start with 15 minutes. Maybe you wind up going to 30 soon. Create your space. You do the same thing at the gym, right? You go to the gym, you have the treadmill you go to, you have the stretching area you go to. You need to create your space so you can replicate the process. The 15 minutes a day, replicate the process, it becomes a habit again. Some of you might be rolling your eyes. 100% agree. But if you're not doing that, start with those basic little things. But the inevitable, the workout equipment. Now, kind of in the joke, right? You have dumbbells and kettlebells, toilet paper and hand sanitizer have all been an issue the last 4 or 5 months. Once everything hit and everybody went home, all those things were gone. So everybody looks at it working out at home or working out period as an equipment thing. It's the number one excuse. I don't have equipment, so I can't work out. False. We're going to change that today. Although equipment is great. But I think it should be low on the scale. So let's put equipment on low on the scale. Maybe you find some equipment. Well, what are things that you can have? Cool if you have dumbbells. Cool if you have kettlebells. Those things are great. However, a gallon jug of water is about 8.5 pounds. And I actually want you to fill the whole thing up with water. If you want to fill it up with sand, it weighs 15 pounds. But people are like, oh, I'll just fill it up with half, and that way it's only 4.5 pounds. I don't want that water to slosh around. It sounds corny, but you already are going to create enough momentum, so let's not add any more momentum. Gallon of jug water, 8.5 pounds. I'm going to think about a kettlebell or a single heavy weight when you have that gallon jug of water. Maybe a laundry detergent thing, right? Those can vary. You have smaller ones and you have bigger ones. So you can think single product. I can do kettlebell swings with a gallon jug of water. It's a little light, but it's better than nothing. A 2-liter bottle of soda, maybe kind of hard to hold on to and maybe not as prevalent as we used to have in our houses, but that weighs almost 4.5 pounds. A 2-liter bottle of soda. Again, something to hold on to. A can of soup is on the low scale, half pound. A full bottle of wine, let's denote that, a full bottle of wine is 2.5 pounds. And of course, several full bottles of wines, it eventually gets lighter. So we're gonna go high reps to low reps, blah, 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 blah. That's my bad joke for the day. Make sure it is corked if you're gonna do it, please. And if you wanna get a little sassy, a Magnum bottle of wine is over 5 pounds. A firm supported chair. When COVID started hitting, I started seeing Instagram videos of people doing step-ups on the side of their tub. And I was like, what? Now I know it wasn't wet, so technically it wouldn't be slippery, but it was like, no, let's not do step-ups on your side of your bathtub. A firm supported chair. So, the little ones we get at Costco probably aren't the best. But something to stand on, something to sit on. A towel or a harder plastic like a Frisbee. That way you can slide on surfaces. A towel you'd use on hardwood floor. A Frisbee or a harder plastic you could use on carpet. So I want to think, okay, I can go to my closet. What are some of these things that you can put in your workout space? Sounds corny, right? You need to go create your atmosphere. So go get those things, and those are things you can put under your couch. You can put them on the side of your couch there or in your closet, and that's your workout components. Okay, so number one, calendar, put it in there. Number two, you got to create your space. And then number three, what are the creative tools to getting there? And that's what I want to challenge everybody on. And of course, if you need more help, let me know. You don't need to have a whole bunch of stuff. So I kind of want to move on to some common movements. That way I'm not sitting here doing nothing. I want to think common movements to increase heart rate, increase blood flow. And right now we're talking about working out. I don't want you to think, ooh, I'm going to get off my office chair and do something for 15 minutes. I want you to think this is your time and space. Multi-joint motion, multi-muscle activation, those are dynamic movements. So I'm going to show you guys a couple 2-movement exercises. And then I think at the end of the video, you guys are going to actually get an email one of the links to my workouts is Sierra Spelt Fitness hips and auxiliaries. It's a bunch of hip exercises with these 2 movement exercises. Again, I'm going to show you just a couple reps of each. You can write them down. You can go to my YouTube channel and see them too. Lunge and curl. Now, you can do any lunge and you're going to curl. Now, most people have probably seen this or done this. You have a lunge and then curl. You are not curling while you lunge. See the difference? I want you to lunge and then curl. You can do any lunge. You have stationary forward, which is what I'm doing. You have stationary reverse lunges. There's a difference of pushing and pulling. You have walking forward lunges. You have walking reverse lunges, but you would lunge and curl. That is a great 2 movement exercise. Yes, there's also a lunge, curl, and press. However, I like to separate that stuff. So lunge and curl is a great one for all of your leg muscles, multi-joint motion, and you get a little bit of upper body. Squat, press. Again, I'm holding dumbbells. You could hold a dumbbell and you squat, and then you come out and press. Now there's a different movement called thrusters, and that's more of a power movement, momentum movement. It's good, but I want you to think multi-joint motion, multi-muscle activation, and this is gonna be really good for you to intermix with lots of other movements. Squat and press. When you're doing these things, 10 revolutions or 20 total movements are great numbers. 30 total movements or 15 revolutions. Those are very simple, good numbers. Stiff-legged deadlift to a row, or you can say RDL, which is a Romanian deadlift to a row, very similar. Hamstrings, hamstrings, hamstrings. Stretch what you've been sitting on, and then row. Again, a very common motion. Stiff-legged deadlift to a row. Think really good posture, really good core, and again, 10 total movements, 5 revolutions, based on the weight you have. Remember, I'm talking about having weights. You don't have to lunge, curl. You are moving your body. Squat, press. You are moving your body. Stiff-legged deadlift, row. You are moving your body. Just a couple more of these movements and I'll move on. Sit up with a 2 twist. Again, whether you have weight or not, you have your sit up, abs core, and you have your rotation. Believe it or not, abs are way, way low on the core scale. Anything that touches your spine is a core muscle. Your abs actually don't touch your spine. It's part of the equation, but it doesn't touch your spine. So you want to think about your abs, and then you think about your core, which is again a great, great combo. Last but not least is your plank. Right, you're in your plank position, elbows and toes. This is a low plank position. You actually do turn on more muscles, swear, I promise you, than a high plank. But elbows and toes, it can bug your shoulders and wrists and elbows. Plank for 30 seconds, or plank for a minute, or plank for 3 minutes if you want to. And then you combo with any alternating ab exercise. Scissors, runners, windshield wipers, any alternating ab exercise. Great combinations. And you're gonna do 3 or 4 sets of these. I know I went through them quickly. Clearly we can ask questions later on. You could do a set of the lunge curl, a set of the squat press, the stiff-legged row, the sit-up 2 twist, and a plank with a Russian twist. If you did 1 set of 20 total movements for each, it's probably gonna take you 7-8 minutes. 1 set of 20 of each, and you worked your entire body. Doing it twice, there's your 15-minute workout. 2 rounds of 20 reps of each. So we can think simple, because when you create the habit, you create the routine, magic happens and you're able to do more. But we always start with more, and then we have to take a break and we fall off the wagon. So I've definitely been talking, I have a clock around here somewhere. I've definitely been talking more about workouts, like the essence of working out, creating space, creating your time, and that's awesome. I think most people on this call have done it and can do it. But I kind of want to shift over to aches and your body's hurting, you've been sitting all day long, and maybe you haven't worked out in a long time, or maybe you worked out yesterday and you're really, really sore. So I want to think about moving. Something is better than nothing. And I see a lot of people that sit all day long. And yeah, you can stereotype or generalize and say Microsoft employees, because I live in Redmond, but Google's here and Facebook is here and office jobs are here. People sit. So I want you to think, what can I do throughout the day? And this has been used so many times, and if there's any other trainers on the call, I guarantee you they've used it. Every hour, just create the habit. I want you guys to create an alarm. Put an alarm on your phone. Just put it at 9, 10, 11, 12. Do it 6 times. Every hour, have a little alarm. And I want you to get out of your chair. And I want you to stand up. And I want you to drop your shoulders. Pull your shoulders back. Open up those hands. Stand tall and breathe. Just for a minute. You know, take 5 or 6 really deep breaths. You got out of your chair, you stood tall, you let your shoulders fall, you pull your shoulders back, you open up your hands, which is the exact opposite of sitting and doing that. So do the opposite. Now that's if you're just hurting and you feel like you don't know where to start. Doing that every hour would be awesome. Or even worst case scenario, if you just did it 3 times throughout the day. And again, that's about a minute. So 3 minutes a day, you could stand up and go, oh, and you're thinking, I'm going to breathe, I'm going to get some blood flowing, I'm going to relax for a second. If you want to do just a little bit more, because we're talking about creating habits, then I would say let's do 3 different 5-minute things a day. Okay, so you have 3 alarms, right? You're going to get up at 10, and you're going to do it at 1, and you're going to do it at 4. The first one, I want you to think movement. Okay, so it's a 9-set movement. You're going to do standing scissors, 10 standing scissors, no big deal. You're going to do 10 stationary reverse lunges, 10 regular squats. You're moving, right? Take your time. 10 standing runners. You're just moving your body. You got out of your desk. You might be wearing a suit. You might not be wearing a suit. You're going to do your alternating stiff-legged deadlifts. Again, everything's just 10 reps. You're going to have your wide squats. Again, you're moving your body. Simple, effective. You're going to have your Jack LaLannes. My clients have fallen in love with these the last 4 months. We had never done them very much before. One person on this call might remember from the rack years ago. Stationary forward lunges, and then narrow squats. It's a 90-rep movement. Doing it slow takes minimum 3 minutes, maybe up to 5 minutes, and that's one of the breaks that you do. And of course, you can email me and I can remind you of that circuit. That's circuit 1. 9 a.m. you moved your body. 1 p.m., right? You had your office call, you had your lunch. You're now going to think stretching. You're going to get out of your chair. You're going to stretch your flexors. You're going to stand tall, and again, because you've got to get out of your chair, and you're going to stretch out those things you've been using all day long. You're going to sit tall or stand tall, and you're just going to reach. You're just going to reach way up there. You're going to take a big, deep breath. You're also going to have posture. You're going to go behind your hands, whether you sit tall or stand tall, and get those hands behind you, nice and tall, and you're going to just lightly tilt that head, nice long stretch, because you've been doing this for a while, or you've been on your headset or phone for a while. You're going to have your, again, sitting tall or on a chair or ground, left leg over right. You're just going to push. Again, you can do this seated if you really want to. Nice reach, nice long stretch, and you're breathing. You could be, again, sitting tall or standing tall. You're going to have your cat stretch. I'm going to do this standing. The standing cat stretch, you all see this on the ground, right? There's your cat stretch. You can do it sitting or standing, right? You have the arch, you have the curve, you're breathing, hip, spine mobility. I know I'm going quick. When you have a mobile spine and mobile hips and activated muscles around those joints, really good things can happen. And then the last thing. So 10 a.m. we moved. 1 p.m. we stretched. And then at 4 p.m., I want you to think cardio. You could do stairs, if you have stairs in your house. Just put a 5-minute alarm, 5 minutes. How many flights of stairs can you do? Maybe you walk around your house or apartment complex, 5 minutes. Maybe you do a treadmill, maybe you do a bike. Maybe you just do, again, a bunch of squats, a bunch of push-ups. 5 minutes of movement, and that would be the 3 phases of the day. You moved, you stretched, you increased your heart rate and blood flow, and there's your 15 minutes on a day. So I know I went fast on a lot of those things, and I'm guessing my time is up, give or take. I can talk about this stuff all day long. If you have any questions, please ask. Besides that, I hope you move your body. Anything else you need from me?
Chris, that was fantastic. Thank you so much. I put some stuff in the chat just to help. Like Chris said, he has put together 2 great documents that will go out post-event that you can just click on the links. One is some sample exercises, so there's some great stuff in there. So if you need help putting something together. I think a big round of a hand goes to our hosts for working out in the background the whole time. I mean, way to go, you guys. I think you definitely have earned a post-tapas glass of wine. So, okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to divide up into our small groups so that you guys can have a chance to chat. Chris will be in one of those. So for those of you that get Chris in your room, you'll be able to ask him any questions if you have some. But just give me a quick moment here for me to create the breakout rooms. And let's see. So we'll go into the breakout